from New York City. In my city, people who are homeless, poor people of color, live alongside billionaires and live alongside the wealthiest people in the world, some of the wealthiest people in the world. And we have a climate crisis, obviously in Germany, around Europe, around the world, and in New York City, we're facing the effects as well. But guess what? Who faces the most problems? It's low-income people of color. 10 years ago, we had a big hurricane. And 10 years later, whose houses are still not rebuilt? The government promised grants, and whose houses are still not rebuilt? Who still has not received those grants? It's low-income people of color. And then again, as a reminder, I'm from one of the wealthiest cities in the world, where billionaires live in skyscrapers and the richest banks in the world finance atrocities in Latin America, in Africa, and in Asia, where my family is from. And that is not acceptable. In my work, we organize not just to solve the climate crisis, but to solve the inequality crisis and to solve the crisis of capitalism. Remember that environmentalism without class analysis and without anti-capitalism is just gardening. When we think about the fact that 1% of the world, the top 1% emits more than the bottom 50% of the world, we see that it is not just a problem of burning fossil fuels, but who is burning them and who is reaping the profits from them. And as a result, when we do occupations, when we have demonstrations, and when we shut shit down, we are not just shutting shit down because we think that there is a climate crisis. We are shutting shit down because there is a crisis in global fossil capitalism and in global racial capitalism. And when we shut shit down, we're shutting down their profits, and we're shutting down a system that cannot be allowed to exist any longer because it is killing all of us. In my work, we try to have the concept of just transition at the heart of everything we do. When we fight for more green housing, we're also fighting for more affordable housing and more social housing so that we don't live in a city where the richest are so insanely wealthy and there are tens of thousands of people on the streets without a home. And when we fight against these systems, we fight because we know that business as usual will not just end because we ask nicely or because we write policy reports that plainly state the scientific facts. We fight because they have power on their side. They do not want to give it up, and so we have to build our own power, people power, in order to defeat them. And so that is why grassroots organizing and what we're all doing today is so special. And it will be even more powerful when we are able to build an even more inclusive movement that has more voices and more numbers and even more power. So thank you for allowing me some time to speak, and thank you for listening. And I'm very honored to be here and to see that there is so much people power here to shut shit down, shut down their profits, and say it is not acceptable anymore that some people gain everything from this fossil capitalist system and others lose everything. Thank you.